Conference Finals tips Wednesday, and for the first time as a Conference Finals, used to be called something else, it tips here in Atlanta. And according to Kyrie Irving, there is no chance it won't begin with him on the floor for the Cavaliers.
Feeling great. Just last few days of treatment, rest, combination of a lot of things. It's just feel pretty good going into Wednesday's game. I'd say just my spirits and mental confidence. Just being able to actually feel both of my feet underneath me, especially when I'm shooting. It feels amazing. Just the confidence of getting extra work in and actually preparing with my teammates. I think that's the biggest thing I get out of it is just you don't want to be on the sideline at all, especially when you're preparing for such a big stage like this. So I want to be as close to 100% as I can be before Wednesday. So just doing the necessary things in order to do that. I'm gonna go.
Cavaliers were already down one member of their big three with Kevin Love out for the rest of the postseason. Amazingly, they closed out the Bulls without any of the big three scoring more than LeBron James 15 points. And Kyrie Irving sitting out with that left knee tendonitis in addition to the right strained foot. So when they tip on Wednesday, what are you looking for? More importantly, what are the Hawks looking for as they assess how fit Kyrie is?
Well, I think the obvious is they're going to see how LeBron kind of fills things out, but it's all about for Kyrie is how he attacks his man and when he gets to the basket. In the playoffs, I've been very amazed at how the young man finishes with either hand around the basket. You're talking about a sore knee, a sore hip. Basically, the whole side of that leg is sore, and he's still able to find little avenues to get through that Chicago Bull defense and finish. Now, having 4 or 5 days of rest, coming in here and feeling good about himself, I think Jeff Teague and Dennis Schroeder, they better get themselves together because knowing that Kyrie coming in here feeling good is a Kyrie you don't want to see this late in the season.
Of course, Cleveland begins with the King, of course. He's back in the Eastern Conference Finals again. Seems to follow him around pretty much wherever he goes. But he's coming off a series against the defensive-minded Bulls in which he had one of his poorest shooting playoff series of his entire career. In fact, statistically, it was the third worst, even worse from three-point range, where he was just 3 of 28 over the course of that series against Chicago. Is that a concern at all if you're a Cavs fan or David Blatt?
Not really concerned because LeBron showed us once again, even though he doesn't shoot the ball well, he can still get other people involved.
Right.
If you're a Hawk fan, you're like, wait a minute, this is a series against Thabo Cephalosha because now DeMarre Carroll, you don't want him the same steady diet for the whole series. Jimmy Butler did an excellent job making LeBron shoot the ball poorly, but you saw when you got to Game 6, LeBron still shared the basketball, got other people involved, and that's what you need to do. So Hawk fans, hopefully DeMarre Carroll, other people can try to do the same thing Jimmy Butler did, but then again, you don't want all those shooters to get loose like J.R. Smith and Dellavedova did.
Also be interesting to see, Carroll brings a little more size than Butler does defending LeBron. It'll be interesting to see if LeBron tries to post him up as much as he did against Chicago and Butler in the semifinal.
That's a great point. You saw that in Game 5 when Jimmy Butler got in foul trouble because LeBron went into the post. That's why you needed to mix it up a little bit with LeBron because when you give him the same steady diet, he'll figure a way to pick you apart.
The Cavaliers have to worry about a little bit of everything offensively when it comes to the Hawks, who share the ball as well as anybody in the NBA. They also got great penetration and pace from their two-headed point guard attack of Jeff Teague and Dennis Schroeder in the round against the Washington Wizards, a fact LeBron is well aware of.
Their ability to push the tempo. They're always in attack. Those guys, they push the tempo, starting with Teague, and then Schroeder does not let the tempo go down when he comes in. We have to understand that. We have to be very aware of that and match that.
So Timothy Mozgov there is a rim protector for Cleveland. Can Kyrie and the other Cavaliers guards keep in front of those guys, and will Mozgov be a deterrent in this series?
Well, I think he'll be a deterrent at times, but Matt, you hit it right top of the head. The Hawks just moved the basketball. They've gotten back to what they did early in the season. They're going to find the open man. So when Dennis and Jeff Teague get to the basket, they're going to try Mozgov early and see if they can get him in foul trouble and score. But more importantly, they're going to find open people on the floor to try to get the best shot. That's why if you're a Hawks fan, you're still pretty feeling good about yourself because you know when the Hawks share the basketball, they get good shots.
Well, and one of those open people, they hope, is Kyle Korver, and they hope he's hitting shots in this round, which he didn't do very much against the Washington Wizards, at least from three-point range where he was just 12 of 42. Here's Kyle on what's ahead.
I need to shoot better for us to keep on winning, I think. But we've never made it about one person. And, a lot of the shots that I was getting were difficult shots, and you try to be aggressive shooting. But Obviously, I was kind of out of rhythm there for a while, so you know, I'm probably going to get guarded the same way this series, so it's just trying to find a way to get better shots and knock them down.
At 3D, the Wizards obviously made Korver a focus of their defensive approach. What were they doing to slow him down?
Well, they pretty much sold out. I was very impressed with Bradley Beal, who was able to chase him around throughout the whole series and still get 24 points tonight. Otto Porter. Then you throw in John Wall. Those three young men really said, you know what? Coach said, I'm following you all over the floor. So right here, John Wall is keeping an eye on the basketball and making sure he keeps his head on the swivel. Contested three-point shot. You already gave the percentages, Matt. They went way down. So that's why I'm curious on how does Cleveland do the same thing? Bradley Beal fighting over the screens, Gortat all in the shooting zone. Will the Cavaliers do the same thing and selling out? Now watch Otto Porter in this possession right here. He is chasing Kyle Korver into his chest, forcing him to the baseline, fighting over these screens. Will it be Shumpert? Will it be James Jones? Who will it be to devote this much time to Kyle Korver throughout this series? Hand up, percentages come down. That's why I was impressed with the Wizards and Bradley Beal more particular, because he's chasing him around, was still able to get 24 and 25 a night. Can Shumpert, the James Jones of the world, can they do that in this series?
Well, it's interesting. There's such an ensemble cast, lots of good players on that Atlanta roster. Is Korver the guy you have to take away?
Well, he's the guy that stretches the floor. When he's on the floor and you're worrying about him, now Jeff Teague and Millsap have more room to operate. That's why he's so important.
Some of the decisions that David Blatt has facing him as he gets ready for the Eastern Conference Finals. First go around for him as well, obviously, at this stage.